Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 43 and today we have got a bunch of really awesome projects planned. I mean seriously, I'm so excited for this episode. This is an episode that I've wanted to make for an extremely long time. As you guys know, villagers have been a thing for me in Hermitcraft Series 4 and pretty much Hermitcraft Series 4 only. I never really worked with villagers in the previous seasons of Hermitcraft. I haven't really done anything with villagers. So today we are finally going to be doing something super useful with them. We built the iron farms, now we are going to be building villager trading booths. Now, we started work on this in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, sort of. I mean, we got to work on the villager breeder once again. We've actually fully constructed that thing, and it's looking awesome. I'm super happy with the way that it looks. It actually looks neat for once, because all of the other villager breeders I've built are horrendously ugly. So this one is looking 10 times better. And if we quickly take a look over here, we should see, I hope, yes, we have got ourselves one big villager right there. But also we have got a few baby villagers down on the bottom. That is excellent news. Okay, so this thing is actually working. It's working wonderfully. So these guys are going to be transported off like this. And they're going to go into the villager trading area, which is going to be going here. And it's going to be amazing. We're going to get loads and loads of mending books. We're going to get all of the diamonds. We're going to be the richest hermits on the server. At least that's my grand master plan. But before we begin, I just want to mention something real quick. It's a question that I've seen popping up quite a lot down in the comment section. And I thought I'd very quickly answer it. And that is, why have you built yourself an industrial district when there is already an industrial district on the server? Now this is a very good question, okay, it is. I've seen it popping up quite a lot in any of the episodes in which I'm working in this place. Now there's two main reasons for this. Number one is because I think it will look good. I know that is vain, and I know that's completely stupid, but I love the thought of having my flying base up here, and then all of the crazy automated farms sort of wrapping around the landscape down underneath. I think it's going to look awesome. I'm super excited to get it done and basically complete this base area right here. I think it will look amazing. I know that's a ridiculously vain reason to want to do this thing, but that's basically the first one. Now, the next reason is a tiny bit more complicated, but that is the economy on the Hermitcraft server. As you guys know, we've got a fairly strong shopping district. It's one of the main parts of the server. I myself have built a bunch of shops. All of the hermits are building tons of shops. The only issue with this is that it does mean that community farms are sort of becoming a little bit non-existent. Nobody is really building farms purely for the community. They build a farm and then they sell off all of the resources, which is absolutely fine. That's cool. I'm doing exactly the same thing. But it does mean that community farms don't really exist, so there's no point in having a community farm area, which is why I've decided to build all of mine just over here. I think that would be cool. I think it's a really fun project to work on. So hopefully that explains the situation there. And hopefully that will stop all of the comments down in the comment section. However, I imagine it probably won't. But anyway, first things first, so we're going to be heading off the rainy, horrible Hermitcraft server, and we're going to be taking a look at my redstone testing world at the villager trading booths that we are going to be using. Now, I actually showed this in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, but it was right at the very end, so there's a chance that some of you missed it. So let's go. So this right here is the design. Now, it's by a chap called SZ I'll put a link to his channel down in the description because it's absolutely fantastic. But the way that it works is we've got ourselves a bunch of villagers. It can be expanded out as far as you like. And we can click on these guys and take a look at their trades. So for example, this guy's got punch 2. That's not particularly fantastic. We've got 30 paper for an emerald. That's not too bad considering our ridiculous sugarcane farm that we've got. And then we've got a few other ones. And maybe a few other ones. And then this chap at the end right here. So I don't particularly like this guy. We're going to be removing him. So we hit this button. He gets carted away. And then his fence gate opens up. And if we chuck down a villager in this little water over here, for example, the villager breeder fires, then eventually the minecart will pick him up. He'll be transported across, go into this water stream, gradually make his way along, and he will end up in this slot right here. Then we can take a look at his trades. If they're rubbish, then we can bin him and get ourselves a new and improved villager. That's basically the way that this thing is going to work. And in the end, you should end up with like a full set of really amazing tradable villagers. So, that is the plan, and I guess I must have set up this end one wrong. So just completely ignore what's just happened. So now that I've talked a bunch and shown you how the design works, I think it's about time that we actually start work on this thing. And by the look of things, I'm taking some serious damage. Let's wipe out this guy. Oh. I mean, my iron armor isn't doing a particularly good job. But anyway, aside from the fact that I'm probably going to die in this process, we do need to clear out this space. Now, this is no small size. Okay, we need to go 7 blocks down, and we need to go right the way up from this end right here all the way to the other end of the industrial district, because this trading booth is going to be pretty huge. So I'm going to crack on with this one, and I'll catch you guys in a little bit. I have high hopes, and they have been crushed. Oh, my shops are rubbish. Guys, I've thought of a way for Microsoft to get their £2 billion investment back. Make Enderman alarm clocks. I mean, I would buy that. These things are the loudest things on the planet. I would jump straight out of bed. It's genius. You owe me 95%. This is total rubbish without a Haste 2 beacon, I have to say. Unfortunately, I'm not able to borrow anyone's beacon, and of course, I don't actually have a beacon on the Hermitcraft server yet, which is definitely something that we're going to have to sort out soon, because this is painful. This is absolutely painful. There's efficiency 5 pickaxe right here, and as you can see, it's not exactly swift, is it? I mean, we're not exactly blasting through all of the blocks right here, like I would expect. But we are making progress. We have knocked out 2 layers. We have got, I believe, 5 more to go for this absolutely massive area that we're creating here. But hey, progress is progress. Can't complain too much. Yes, finally, some helpers. Right, let's just sort of bring you over here. Good. No. I don't want you to blow up over there. Just right about here. This is good. This is good. Make your way over and then ping ya. Cool. We made progress. And that guy just shot that arrow out the air. He's more talented than I am. And there we go, it is done. This has been no small project, clearing out this entire space with just the efficiency 5 pickaxe, which I know, it sounds pretty good. I mean, in your head, you think, efficiency 5 pickaxe, how hard can it be? But without that Haste 2 beacon, these things are slow. They seriously are slow. It's like the difference between a Peugeot and a Ferrari, I tell you. I seriously, and they don't even make that many. Do they make fast Peugeots? I think they make the Peugeot 208 GTI, but other than that, nothing particularly speedy. So yeah, that definitely works. Anyway, aside from random car knowledge, as you can see, we now have a pretty big space to work with. So we have got a huge area to place in all of our villager trading booths, and I've been doing some thinking about how I'm going to do this thing, and I've concluded that we're going to have twice as many villager trading booths as I originally planned. As you can see, we have a lot more space than I was originally planning, which means that we can place in trading booths going in like this. The villagers will go all the way across here in their little minecarts. They'll take forever to get this far because you saw how slow they move. But then eventually they'll make their way over here. Then they'll go across like this and then make their way back across like this. So we're going to have like a big U shape in which all of the trading booths are going to be going. I think that's a pretty smart idea. And I think it should lead to just plentiful villager trading. I mean, we should have hundreds of these guys. So I guess I should probably get to work on gathering some resources and working out what items I need. This has me more than a little bit nervous. Where's he gone? Oh, oh no, not the RV, not the RV. Oh my word, that was so close. Oh my word. My heart almost came out of my mouth. No, let's test my aim. Oh, get out of town. Man, these bows, you know, they're pretty good. They are pretty good. You have spent the past 20 or so episodes telling me to get a bow, and I should have listened. Oh, my word. Let's get back inside. I don't want to be around here anymore. So this, my friends, is my full resource cabinet. Let's just take a quick look around for any creepers or anything like that, because if this thing blows up, I will cry myself to sleep. Here goes. As you can see, we have got ourselves a ton of birchwood. Just recently picked that up from the logs fellas. We've got a bunch of hardened clay. We've got some redstone clay. This hardened clay right here, I'm actually going to be turning into redstone clay because I think that will look 10 times better. We've also got some redstone torches. We've got redstone. We've got repeaters. We've got loads and loads of iron. We've got more redstone, some powered rails, some regular rails, and of course all of the dye to turn that into the redstone clay. So that should be everything that we need, I imagine, maybe. Now, we are going to need a bunch of detector rails, so actually I'm going to quickly craft those things up. We're going to need a few stacks of those, maybe. Probably, well, I don't know how many we actually need here. I would say that's about 64 blocks. Would you? I don't know if I'm going blind. Hang on, let's try and work this out. So we are currently at y equals 684 in the Z axis. So let's just make our way across. So 84. And it is going to be right. Okay, my estimate was miles off. So we're around about 34 blocks away, that's perfect actually. That means we only need around about a stack of everything to make this work. So let's quickly make up a stack of detector rails. So I do believe, if I remember correctly, we need to turn that stone there into pressure plates, but we definitely won't need, well, I suppose we will need all of those. I don't know. We've got loads and loads of stone. We don't have to worry there. And then maybe 32, 32, 32, and then redstone, and oh, okay, we definitely don't need quite that much. Good. Well, that was a lot cheaper than I was expecting it to be. I gathered so much iron ready to do that, and that's all we needed. Sweet. Okay, well, we've got most of the resources now. Now it's a case of chucking in the blocks in the correct locations and making sure that everything works properly. Okay, so as you can see, all of the framework is now in place. Now, I've spent a little bit of time trying to work out how big these things are going to be. I've got 1 block on this side over there, 2 blocks over here, and then a bunch of space in this area because, of course, this wall's a little bit difficult to deal with. On this side, it was a tiny bit more straightforward. We've just got 1 block all the way across, which is nice and easy. Hopefully that's enough space. I'm not 100% certain that that is going to be enough space, but I'm just going to say we'll give it a go. We'll see if we can fit it all in. But now it is time to actually start chucking in all of the rails. Now, the way that we're doing this is I'm just going to chuck in a powered rail, and then we need to chuck in the detector rail, and then we need to chuck in another rail up at the top to basically make it do something a bit like this, so we end up with like a constant slope going right the way across. And that's essentially how I'm going to have to build this thing, which is a tiny bit long-winded, but it shouldn't be too difficult, and hopefully we should be able to get it done nice and quickly. I'm quickly going to look on my other screen to see if I'm doing everything correctly here. By the look of things, I am. So this is where the villager is going to be landing, this is where the villager will go if it's a rubbish one, and this is where it will stay if it's a good one. I have totally found my rhythm here, guys. I am placing in minecart rails like nobody's business. I'm totally messing it up now. I've started recording, but look at me go. I mean, I am literally like the fat controller. I can just keep going all day long. That's bizarre, though. That didn't happen on the last one. How's that come about? Bit of a progress update for you guys. As you can see, all of the rails are now in place. All of our top redstone is now in place. So we have all of the redstone torches and the repeaters that are going to be running into the fence gates. Now what I'm doing is I'm chucking in all of the half slabs, which then have the trapdoors on the side of them. So if you remember correctly, okay, I know it's been about 10 minutes since I showed you the design, but when we hit the button, the trapdoor opens up, and that allows our villager to travel down here and into like the water area where it gets taken away and killed. Now, the way that this actually works is we're going to be chucking in these slabs right here, and then on the edge of them, we're going to have our iron trapdoors, which I'll quickly chuck in now. So they go across like this, and they will lift up because the button's placed on the underside of a block that is placed up here, which means it actually powers this trapdoor right here, which means that when the minecart moves off, it then unpowers this detector rail, which unpowers this repeater, which will open up the fence gate, allowing another villager to drop down. That's essentially how the whole system works, which is why this thing is so incredibly simple and such an amazing design. Here's hoping it actually works on servers, though, because that's totally something that I hadn't thought of. Oh my god, I can't cross my fingers hard enough. Seriously, I'm going to break the bones in them. You have no idea how much I wish the industrial district was connected up to the nether. I mean, seriously, I seem to spend most of my time travelling back and forth between the RV and that place. I really need to link it up. Maybe we could chuck a nether portal inside the villager trading area. That would probably be a smart idea. That would be far enough away from that portal there for them not really to link up if I do some careful mathematics. That could work quite nicely, actually. I'm being a really inefficient Minecraft player again. I've just flown around for around about 3 minutes with these silly elytra on, but I did a fantastic job of flying, so that's definitely the most important thing. Anyway, as far as you can see, this thing has now had some progress happen to it, and now I've got all of the resources to do the stone buttons, I've got the levers, and I should have everything to do all of the fence gates. So this thing is pretty much completed. Happy days. And with the final few button placements, all of the redstone and all of the systems will now be in place. So there we go. That is the full system. We have now got a full set of villager training booths, and straight away, I was literally just thinking, I was like, yeah, we can get this into action, we can chuck in the water streams and everything like that. But I spotted a zombie out of the corner of my eye, and I've been reminded that this thing is totally not zombie proof. I mean, we would have a massive issue right there, but let's quickly kill this guy before he scares our villagers too much. Ooh, good stuff. Let's check our villager supply. That's looking good as well. I don't really know how to do that then, because of course we can't really have villagers out in the open, as they will just be attacked by zombies. That's just exactly how it's going to go down. That's a bit of a tricky one. Well, I guess what we can do is we can get everything in place. We can get all of the water streams in, everything ready to go, and then we will have to, I suppose, cover it all up with water. I mean, that's the way that we do these things. Now, there is a chance that this involves a tiny bit more design intelligence than I was perhaps first expecting. To be honest, I thought this was going to be a really simple build, and I think I've got the entire pickup system worked out, but I'm not 100% certain on the drop-off system. So, as you guys know, the whole point of this design is we need to be able to drop off villagers. So we need to be able to kill off villagers, but we want to be able to get those minecarts back, because of course they're minecarts. They're relatively expensive. They use a little bit of iron, and also we're going to have to change up the circuit a tiny bit here. But yeah, they're a tiny bit more expensive than your average item in Minecraft, so I feel like I really want to be able to get those back, which means that we're going to have to item elevate them in to this set of chests right here. And I do not fully understand how I'm going to do that. I suppose we could run a line of hoppers across like this, and then we have the item elevator going up like that. But when we kill the villagers, I guess we can pop them out using an activator rail, drop them down into maybe lava or a cactus or something like that, then break the minecart using a cactus, it drops into a hopper, then gets transported across into an item elevator, and then it goes up here. I think that will work. I feel like that will work. I hope that you guys followed along with that one. But that's the way that the killing system is going to work. I think that'll work. Yeah, that will definitely work. Cool. Okay, so I think we've sort of sussed that one out. What I'm working on right now is I'm working on the pickup system. So this is how we're actually going to be picking up all of the villagers. They're going to be dropped into the system right here. So we just need 12 ticks in total on all of these repeaters. Then redstone running across like that. Make sure that it doesn't power any of the hoppers. Good. And that will power this dispenser, which means that when we actually pick up a minecart, and when we pick up a villager, he will actually travel across like this, he'll go into the system, fire this detector rail right here, which will then dispense another minecart. Now the point of this little system right here is this minecart will rock back and forth until it picks up a villager, in which case it will travel off, and then of course will trigger the system. So that's this system right here. But yeah, as far as the drop-off system, I think what we came up with should work in theory. I guess it's just a case of actually testing it out. I have no idea if we'll be able to build that in today's episode, but that does seem like a pretty viable plan, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Now, one thing that I totally forgot to test is whether or not minecarts can actually do corners when they're in the water. So let's take a quick look. We'll chuck a villager inside just so it's a proper test. It goes through the glass, and I mean, it's so painfully slow to watch. Good. Okay, that's a very good sign. Excellent. Okay, so our villagers should be able to do the corners on either end of our system. Right, our loop is going to work. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think this thing might be ready to go. From an operational standpoint, I think this thing might be just about ready to go. The system itself, I mean. Now, we don't have any of the minecart pickup system, and we don't have any of the killing system for the villagers, so we're going to have to work out our own way of doing that one in the next couple of seconds. But I just want to see if the trading booths themselves are actually going to be functional on the Hermitcraft server, and this is something that I'm extremely nervous about. I don't know if you can quite tell from my voice, but I'm actually really scared to see if this thing is going to work. So, here goes. All I have to do is chuck a minecart down right here, and I guess I should probably put another minecart in the system. That will probably be a good idea, so let's quickly just craft up one of those. And then we will be ready to actually do this thing. And I mean, I've spent a decent amount of time playing today. I've done a decent amount of work, I would say. Obviously, we cleared out the entire area, then we built the villager breeder itself, and now we're just in the final stages. And this is really the moment of truth, because of course we've done the villager breeder, we've done everything in the hope that this villager trading booth is actually going to be functional. And if it's not, well, I probably won't be playing Minecraft too much over the next couple of days. So I'll chuck these three into the system. That means it's ready to go. And, oh, let's do it. Well, that's not the best of starts, is it? I mean, I've been a spoon there. Right. Oh, my heart went into my mouth. Okay, here goes. We're going to take out this birchwood slab. Okay, we picked up a villager. He's moved off. The system has sort of fired-ish. Where did that dispenser go? Where did that... Are these all stuck? I've never seen that before. How's that happened? Ah! I'm an idiot! Okay, so the good news is we've managed to fix that problem. The system is now up and running. If we take a look over here, you can see that the first few villagers have actually made their way into the trading booths. So we've got rotten flesh, and we've got 9 gold, and then we've got exactly the same villager twice over, which is fairly low chances of that happening, but as you can see, this is actually working like a charm. I'm very, very happy that the system is actually functional. So it looks like on servers, this thing is going to be working. However, by the look of things, our pickup system isn't working wonderfully, and that's because these guys aren't getting pushed over into the corner. So maybe we might need to do some diagonal water stream business here to push them into the corner so that they can easily be picked up by the minecart, because by the look of things they are struggling somewhat. Maybe we could use some pistons. I feel like diagonal water streams is probably the best way to go though. However, with this many villagers, I sort of don't want to lose all of them. Oh, we've got one, right, let's watch it. It's moving into the water streams. Now, a funny behaviour is that it tends to skip one. If we take a look here, look, it will probably go into this one here for some bizarre reason, but it seemed to do that in my single player world as well. So yeah, as you can see, it skips one, but then the next one comes along, sort of fills in that gap. So that's no big deal. Let's check this guy's trades. Those aren't bad, you know. Chicken for emeralds, I could definitely do that, and the pork chops as well. Cool. Well, we're getting a few villagers in. Now we need to work out the killing system and how we're going to get the minecarts back into the original chest. I've done some extra bits and pieces for our villager disposal system, so if I can actually hold my mouse correctly, you can see that we've got the water streams, they run into this minecart rail, and that carries the villager off into this little place right here. So the minecart will hit this cacti, it will drop into these hoppers, and then of course it can make its way up there, but we're not going to be worried about that. All we need to worry about is actually killing off our villager, and first off, we need to work out where this chap is going to land. So, I guess we can just hit the button on one of these guys. We can dispose of him. I mean, that's not particularly promising. Let's quickly relog and try and suss out exactly what's just happened there. What I imagine has happened is, yes, okay, so by the look of things, this should be a 2-block high wall. So that's something that we've already learnt. But anyway, he's going to make his way over like this, and the chances are he's going to bounce back and forth on this minecart rail, but that shouldn't be a big issue. Yep, okay, that's good. At least he's on the move, right? He's going to travel across like this. He's going to go across here, and he lands on that block right there. So I guess what we can do is we could put a magma block there. We can actually make use of the new magma blocks. We could place one of those right there, and that is what will kill our villager. So I think we've worked it out. We need to place 2 blocks on their side. Magma block right here, all is good in the hood. So, one of the final things that I've done in today's episode is I've covered the entire central area with glass blocks right here so that you can see inside the mechanism. Honestly, I don't know if it looks good or not, but I think it's going to stick for the time being just because it gives us a floor to walk on. It means that we can actually use the trading booth nice and easily. As you can see, you can actually right click on all these villagers right here and of course have access to all the buttons. And I quite like being able to see all of the gizzards. I think that's a pretty nice feature. But also I've got some glass going over the top of the minecart rail there to stop anything spawning from it. And then the final thing that we have to do today is we've got to grab our magma blocks, and we've actually got to kill off the villagers that are over in this area right here. Now I think the way that I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to go underneath, and I'm going to chuck in 1 magma block that is going to kill off the ones that are currently in there. So we'll place that in right there, and then we'll break this block, and they should just fall down on it. And I can't actually replace this block, so I've been a total spoon, but it doesn't look like they're moving very much. So I think these guys should be on their way out. Good, okay, and then we'll place in the final magma block. That is what is actually going to be killing off all of the villagers. So there we go, that's everything completed. The only thing we have to do now is we have to do the item elevator, which is going to be taking our minecarts back up to the top. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that today, simply because I have sunk a bunch of time into this project today, and I want to leave something for the next episode. So I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.